Hi everyone, it's Don and I hope you're having a fantastic day. Well, we got a couple of stories about some criminals in the news today. They're two completely different stories, by the way. We also have Carnival Cruise Line expanding their private island, at least as far as how many ships are going to be able to go there. We also have a cruise ship that just passed her sea trials and should be coming online and being handed over to the cruise line very, very shortly. And then finally, let's talk about the Sun Princess with only 5 more days before her next sailing. Remember, they canceled in 4 days. Well, they're only 5 days now, and let's see where she's sitting. Passengers were kind of surprised when they were on the Disney Dream and federal agents boarded the cruise ship and they went to a crew members, a 28-year-old gentleman on the ship, and started searching through his devices. And they found some stuff on there that, let's just say, YouTube would not let me talk about too much, involving much younger people than should be involved in such a situation, shall we say. Investigators and FBI were basically told that they were notified by the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, advising him that he would be in possession of illegal stuff on his devices. Now, this is the second Disney crew member in as many weeks. That's the second crew member for Disney being arrested on the ships. So it's something to keep an eye out there, folks, with, it just goes to show, it doesn't matter where you are. You might be in the most family-friendly environment in the world. These days, you still really have to keep an eye on your children and make sure they're safe wherever you go. Next, let's talk about sea trials. 14 days of sea trials where they're putting the ship through all its rigors, full speed, turning, braking, everything that they can possibly think of to test the ship out. Well, the Queen Anne went through it, Crunard's new cruise ship coming out, first one in a long time, and she passed with flying colors. She just kind of sailed through it, shall we say. So that's good news. That means there should not be too much in the way of delays if it passes its sea trials, and soon the ship will be handed over to Crunard, and we'll hopefully that ship is up and running in time for its inaugural sailing. Speaking of inaugural sailings, I checked again this morning, and the Sun Princess, I don't need to take a new picture. I don't need to go on Cruise Mapper and find a new picture to see where it is, because it's been in that same position for months now and hasn't moved. It's still in the shipyard, and we only have 5 more days until the 28th. Today's the 23rd. It's supposed to start boarding passengers, and it takes about 2 days to get to the cruise port, which means we are in that danger zone now of possibility of that ship being canceled. Now, if that ship gets canceled, the next sailing leaves from Barcelona on the 9th of March. And that would now become the new inaugural sailing. That would be the 3rd inaugural sailing canceled on this ship, because it's the sailing after sailing after sailing. And it's making me nervous now because I'm on that sailing again. And if that one got canceled, that would be my 2nd sailing on this ship to get canceled. So I'm a little nervous that that's going on. Let's talk about some things that are going on as far as some good news is concerned. I also mentioned that we had another passenger who was basically a criminal. You remember back in 2019, there was a story of 2 senior citizens, 77 years old, and they were smuggling drugs, hard drugs, cocaine, on a cruise ship. Over $1 million worth of cocaine they smuggled onto a Caribbean cruise ship. They were caught, they were charged, and they went to trial. And 3 judges found them guilty and sentenced them both to 8 years. Now, a bit of a sad part, the wife passed away in prison. Now, they were in Portugal, and they were in a prison there, and in 2021, the gentleman was transferred to a UK prison to serve out the rest of his sentence there, but apparently he is now saying that he is going to file charges for false imprisonment, because he still claims he's innocent, even though he was found guilty in a court of law by 3 judges. How you would try and prove you're innocent in a new trial, I don't know how he's going to do it, but he's trying to get £50,000 from somebody for false imprisonment, saying that he should have been released after half his sentence was done, and he's still in prison now. So he's calling this false imprisonment. I'm sorry, dude. People in prison don't get to decide when they're allowed out. That's society, that's the judges, that's everything, right? That's parole boards, etc. It's not a set date, a set time until your 8-year sentence would be completely up. You can get released early, but that's not at the prisoner's discretion. Saying, can you imagine saying, yeah, you know what? I think you should let me out today. I don't understand. I don't understand. Okay, final story today, some good news for Carnival folks. If you're like Carnival Celebrations Island, right? If you like the island out there and you like going to the private island and it's a lot of fun, but there's a problem. It only holds 2 cruise ships currently. Well, they're adding a second pier to that area that will be able to accommodate 2 more cruise ships at the same time. Now, my problem and issue with this is Carnival is building some large ships now, right? They got the Mardi Gras class size ships that are coming out, and those hold a lot of passengers. Much like if you go to Perfect Day at Coco Cay, they've expanded the island to include more things and spread people out as they've increased the size of ships that are able to dock there. You get the Icon and the Wonder of the Seas there on the same day. There's a lot of people on that private island. And if we go to the Carnival private island and there's a lot of people on there with those 2 large ships on there now, imagine if they get 4 ships all in one day at the pier. It could get overcrowded very quickly. So they're going to have to maybe expand that out even more to make sure that they can spread the clientele out. You don't want people to feel that you're all clustered into one area on your private island. You want your private island to feel luxurious. And people are saying, well, why is Royal building a second private island in the Bahamas? Why are they all investing in these private islands? Well, as you see, a lot of places out there are going and saying, you know what, hey, we got to cut down on the cruise ships here. We got to cut down on the cruise ships here. Well, if you have a private island, no one's saying that to you. You can bring as many of your own ships there as you want to bring there, and you're in control of it. So the more places like that they had, the better off the cruise lines will be. That's one less port they have to schedule if they're making a stop in their private island, which also eases the traffic of cruise ships in other populated cruise ports. So, yeah, I hope they expand. I hope more. I know Norwegian's looking at expanding their private island as well, and I hope they get those going as soon as possible, because it just alleviates a lot of the crowd at other cruise ports in the Caribbean. Well, I hope you appreciate this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Want to see more tips, more tricks, more travel vlogs from around the world? Hit that subscribe button. Until next time, have yourself a safe and a great vacation.